What does the feeding program looks like for capsicums farming?
We talk about the fertilizer and the nutrition part of it. You have to feed your capsicums. Remember, capsicum is a heavy feeder, so you have to feed them, and we do the feeding on weekly basis. We do the basal fertilizers. For this greenhouse, you're not doing fertigation, so you have to come and apply the fertilizer manually, and it depends on the stage of growth. We said that during planting, we're using DAP. We have the vegetative stage, whereby you're going to target more of nitrogen, so you're going to use a fertilizer high in nitrogen, and for our case, we majorly use ammonium sulfate or CAN. We also do foliar sprays if need be, and after doing our scouting for pests and diseases, so that we can able to supplement maybe some of the trace elements that might be lacking in our crops. We're also going to do calcium nitrate. We'll also require magnesium. So there's so many fertilizers, and we are not going to forget about the trace elements, the likes of boron, which is very useful when it comes to the flowering, and also potassium, which is very useful for flowering and fruit formation. For flowering, we majorly use potassium sulfate to ensure that we get flowers, and also the quality of the fruit is okay.
For how long can you be in harvesting before you can now dispose that crop, maybe prepare for the next crop that you want to plant?
For the colored capsicum, they take 120 days for them to be mature, and for them to be fully ripe, and for them to be ready for harvesting from when you transplanted them. Then from there, you're going to harvest them on weekly basis. You can do harvesting once or twice in a week, depending with the ripening. And when you're harvesting, you have to ensure that your fruit has turned to red or yellow in color, so that you can harvest. It will depend with your management practices, how you're going to manage pest diseases, and also the nutrition of our crop. But the crop can take more than 6 months in the greenhouse as you're doing harvesting.
And how long does it take for capsicums from planting to the time at least you get your first harvest?
From the day you transplant your capsicum, you're going to wait for 120 days for you to get the first harvest. And we are saying that the maturity indicator in our colored capsicum, it's the turning of the color. Unlike the normal capsicum, you just have to place and know that it's compact. For this one, it has to turn color to either red or yellow, depending on the variety. Then it's ready for harvest. The frequency of harvesting, you do the harvesting on weekly basis, but there are factors that will affect the ripening also, because we are depending on the temperatures. When it's very cold, you'll find that most of your crops, they're not ripening very fast, because the production of the ethylene gas is not that high during the cooler seasons or when it's cool. But to harvest on weekly basis, maybe you can do harvesting twice a week or once in a week, and you're good to go. We have said that our crop can stay in the greenhouse for a duration of 6 months as you're harvesting, but that will be determined by your management practices, the feeding, and pest and disease control measures that you're going to put in place. Yes, then after that time, that is when you'll do away with your crop. But also, when you're buying the seeds for the capsicum, make sure that you buy certified seeds and F1s to avoid issues with viral infections. Ensure that your farm is clean, or your greenhouse is clean, doesn't have weeds, because he said that they have a pest, and the pest act as vectors for viral infections. To me, as a young person, I'll say this is an opportunity, and an opportunity which has a lot of potential, because if you consider the whole value chain that is in agriculture, it's very wide. You can decide to be in the production, the actual production. You can decide to do the value addition. You can decide to do the seedlings or the seeds part. So the value chain is very big and has a lot of potential. What I can tell the other youths, they should stop viewing agriculture as a dirty job, because that is how most of the youths view. And also something else I'll tell our parents is, stop telling kids ati utaanguka uende ukalime. Let's not associate agriculture with failure. We eat 3 times a day, so you require a farmer 3 times a day, not even 3. You're going to take your breakfast. So it's 4 times in a day you require a farmer. So let us encourage our children so that they can like whatever we are doing. Let's show them that farming is good. Let us not associate it with failing. If you fail, you're going to become a farmer. No, farming or agriculture is a profession like any other. We have the blue sticky cards also, which attract different types of pests. For this one, they attract the thrips. And as you can see, there are more in this greenhouse because capsicums are affected by thrips. If your capsicum is attacked by thrips and the attack is severe, this is how you're going to get the fruit. As the thrips are feeding on your crops, they leave the marks. We call them thrip marks. So these are the effects of the thrips. And for the leaves tend to curl. Unapata leaf yako than the normal shape. Unapata matawi yako inatend kukal either upwards, those are thrips, ama downwards. Pia ikiatakiwa na mites. So that is how you know that your crop is affected by thrips. For the flowers, they'll start aborting. Then itengeneze matunda, unapata maua zako zinaanguka tu. But flower abortion can be caused also by boron deficiency. And also the crop generally will have a stunted growth, juu ile kusakiwa sap. Inatend kuwa stunted ama inakuwa na retarded growth. The temperatures are very high also. Like in Kajiado, the temperatures are very high. We tend to get that we are having issues with sun scald. Zinachomwa, Yeah.
So this is as a result of high temperatures?
Yeah, because jua ikigonga, inakuwa very sensitive, inachomeka. Also, capsicum is prone to get blossom end lot at this end if we are having calcium deficiency. But for our case, we are not having issues with calcium or irregular watering. So you're not having issues with blossom end lot. You'll find that mali mechomeka itakula the entire skin. And also we said that you can also get blossom end lot behaving like this but on this end. As the word suggests, blossom end.
What are the key crop management processes that our capsicums require for you to get a really good yield?
In our greenhouse, you're introducing natural enemies. So even the chemicals that you're using, they're friendly to the natural enemies. And for our case, when our crop starts, we start harvesting our crops. We ensure that we are doing chemicals which have a shorter pHI, not 7 days pHI. And even if we do a chemical which has 7 days pHI, we are not going to harvest until we are done with the 7 days. This is a case of viral infection. So what do you do to this? Just have to uproot it and you do away with it. Then you ensure that you bury or you burn it. And that is why it's very important when you're doing management practices. Things like pruning, if you're pruning, you make sure that you always disinfect the tools. If it's the secateurs that you're using, you disinfect before you move to the next crop. When you're doing the support system to our capsicum, we are not tying the string on the stem.
On the stem, yes, I wanted
directly.
to ask that.
We're doing the creepers. So you attach the creeper. This is where you place your string. So you have a creeper, then you do your string here. Then you lock it very well. Then you attach it to the plant. If you attach the two like this and you do it with one string, pia zichifinyiki unazipea space ya kutosha.
My name is Anne Masharia. I work for Latia as the head of training. Latia is situated in Isinya, Kajiado County, in a 60-acre farms. Here at Latia, we develop agripreneurs' capacity just to ensure the farmers improve their capacity so that they can be able to produce safe food for human consumption. At Latia, we develop the skills of the youths and young mothers on agricultural practices. Basically, we are offering horticulture production and agripreneurship course, among other courses that we have. And our trainees join here. They gain the skills. The training is 70% practical and 30% theory. And after the training, the students go for attachment. We are happy that most of the trainees are able to secure jobs, formal and informal jobs, and others decide to be self-employed. That is, upon gaining the skills, they are able to develop crops, grow crops in different value chains, vegetables, and also the fruit vegetables. Latia as an institution, we are happy to work with the youths and of course use technologies that attract the youths in agriculture, because you'll find that not many youths are interested, but currently we have quite a number of youths who are joining the program just to understand how to grow crops and also rear animals or livestock animals. And this is really of importance because once the youths are engaged in farming, they're able to produce food. And this is benefiting them because they're also creating employment opportunities for them. It is very important if the TVET institutions are going to be strengthened to be able to offer training, especially trainings that are agri-skills or training that are based on developing the skills of the trainees. Because if I have a skill, I'm able to do it on my own. I can grow crops, I can do crop protection for the crops, and this means that I'll use less cost in terms of production. We encourage the youth to join the program, to study agriculture, to gain the skills, because it is of benefit to them. Everyone is welcome to Latia, both the youths, the young mothers, the farmers, to join our training programs that we have some which are short courses that fit the needs of the farmer, depending with the enterprises that they're focusing on. And we also have those courses, we refer them to as regular programs, like I had mentioned, the horticulture production and agripreneurship courses for people who are willing to venture into the industry, and they're actually going to be assessed and given the certificates.
Thank you so much for keeping it here, but that brings us to the end of our episode today. I believe that you've learned a lot on capsicums farming, and if you have a story that you want to share with us, there is an email address that is on your screen. Please write to us. But until next time, enjoy the rest of your viewing.